The outbreak of infectious diseases is something that can be observed throughout different periods of human history. Some diseases we can study and research to understand the causes, symptoms, and even find cures and treatments. However, there are some diseases for which we cannot identify the origins or know how to stop their spread. For example, the 7 strange diseases that I'm going to talk about today on Just a Story. And if you enjoy listening, don't forget to subscribe and follow along. Let's start with the first symptom, the dancing plague. In the year 1580, one day during the summer, in the city of Strasbourg, France, which at the time was part of the Holy Roman Empire, an unusual event occurred. A young woman named Trophée began dancing in the streets without stopping for nearly a week, and within a month from then, another 400 townsfolk joined in the ceaseless dancing. Each individual seemed to be having fun, but in reality they endured the torment of dancing until their bodies could no longer bear it and they collapsed, whether due to exhaustion, heart failure, or cerebral hemorrhage from lack of blood, resulting in convulsions and strokes. Local authorities believed that the condition stemmed from a hot blood disorder and decided to solve the problem by ordering the afflicted to dance continuously day and night to drive out the demons believed to be inhabiting their bodies. They even built stages and hired musicians to play music to keep the townsfolk dancing until they grew too tired and stopped on their own. However, the outcome was quite the opposite, as this only exacerbated the condition, causing the dancers to become even more frenzied and dance more vigorously than before. Furthermore, the disease began to spread to Germany, Holland, and Switzerland. Historical records from the Strasbourg City Council explicitly state that some patients danced until they died, yet the cause remained unknown. Some townsfolk believed it might be a curse from Saint Vitus, a saint associated with curing diseases in ancient folklore. However, some historians suggest that the townsfolk may have unintentionally ingested poisonous fungi, leading to neurological abnormalities, hallucinations, and convulsions. Alternatively, all these events could be mass hysteria, resulting from the accumulated stress of the plague epidemic and the desire to spread throughout the region, manifested through dancing. Moving on to the next symptom, the Salem witch trials in January 1692 in Salem, Massachusetts, in the United States began when Elizabeth Parris, a 9-year-old girl, and her cousin Abigail Williams, aged 11, started exhibiting symptoms. They claimed to be pricked and in pain all over their bodies, with one local clergyman recording their sensation as if being bitten by unseen things, sometimes being pinched, unable to speak, with their mouths locked, throats tightened, limbs twisted, and tormented heavily. Due to these peculiar symptoms, physicians diagnosed the 2 girls as bewitched, which nowadays is speculated to be possibly due to conditions like Lyme disease, epilepsy, encephalitis, or ergot poisoning. Subsequently, similar symptoms began to appear among girls throughout Salem, and as the number of afflicted increased, the townspeople began searching for the witches responsible, or perhaps just scapegoats, because at that time, no one knew exactly what was happening. The witch hunt focused on unfamiliar, unacquainted women in the town. Soon, children started naming several women, leading to the arrest and interrogation of many. The atmosphere in the town became fearful and suspicious, prompting individuals to accuse others to clear themselves. The witch hunt turned into a tool for accusation and elimination, resulting in a high number of people accused, including men, without exception. Eventually, the Salem witch trials led to deaths by hanging or being crushed under stones, highlighting the dangers of extreme religious beliefs and reflecting the flaws in the judicial process. Moving on to the next, the writing tremor epidemic in 1892 in the village of Gaustine, Germany, occurred when a 10-year-old schoolgirl attempted to write. Suddenly, her right hand began uncontrollably trembling, leading to seizures that spread to 19 other students. Some suffered severe consequences, including memory loss and hallucinations. The following year, a similar epidemic affected another 20 students in Basel, Switzerland, and 12 years later, the school in Basel faced another mysterious outbreak, affecting 27 malicious students. It was speculated that the trembling handwriting syndrome in Europe in the late 19th century might directly result from new teaching methods that viewed the mind as a muscle that needed exercise. This tedious and repetitive exercise had adverse effects on students' bodies. Therefore, the symptoms were believed to stem from subconscious minds wanting to escape from the frightening penmanship classes themselves. Next, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon incident occurred in 1944 during World War, when the town of Mattoon, Illinois, in the United States, was already on edge due to the war. In this tense atmosphere, strange occurrences unfolded. Reports emerged of sightings of a mysterious figure dressed in black and wearing a cap, wielding an unidentified spraying device, resembling an insecticide sprayer, spreading gas on victims without any apparent reason. The first victim was Aileen Kearney, who described smelling a strange odor akin to the one in her bedroom before being paralyzed in her lower body by the gas sprayed on her. When her husband returned home from work that night, he found a suspicious individual outside their house, prompting the terrifying story to make headlines in the local newspaper. Soon, the entire town was filled with reports of sightings of strange men and similar symptoms of paralysis, coughing, nausea, and vomiting, but no fatalities were reported. Within 2 weeks, over 20 cases of poisoning were reported. Additionally, there were reports of suspicious individuals lurking around neighborhoods, although despite confirming the existence of the gas sprayer, no one ever saw or knew the true identity of the perpetrator. Moving on to the next symptom, in June 1962, 60 workers from a textile factory in the United States experienced strange symptoms, including rashes, nausea, dizziness, fainting spells, and feeling intoxicated. The mass media dubbed it the June bug epidemic because the workers believed that insects were the cause of their mysterious illness. However, psychologists investigating the incident found no evidence of incidents at the scene. Additionally, none of the hospitalized workers showed signs of insect bites. Upon interviewing the affected workers, psychologists discovered that over 90 of them worked the same shift and 50 of them began experiencing symptoms after hearing news reports about the epidemic. It was thus speculated that the outbreak might have been caused by stress, amplified by the media frenzy surrounding the incident, leading to mass psychogenic illness. Next symptom, the Tanganyika laughter epidemic occurred in 1962 in the wake of significant changes following the struggle for independence from Britain in 1961. In the Tanzania United Nations Trust Territory of the United Nations Trust Territory of Tanganyika. In the village of Kashasha, 3 schoolgirls suddenly burst into laughter uncontrollably and couldn't stop. This laughter spread to other students, causing classes to be suspended for several weeks, as dozens of students couldn't stop laughing. The epidemic continued to spread, affecting all the female students in the region. Not only that, but it also spread to parents who came to pick up their children and eventually reached the entire village, affecting over 1,000 people. 14 schools had to temporarily close due to the outbreak. Interestingly, none of the teachers or staff at the schools were affected. After about a year, the laughter epidemic gradually subsided, leaving doctors unable to explain its origins definitively. It was speculated to be A mass psychogenic illness likely triggered by accumulated political stress, as the region had recently gained independence from Britain, leading to an uncertain future for the newly formed nation and its citizens. Next symptom, the Monkey Man of New Delhi incident occurred in May 2001, amidst a significant power outage that greatly affected the city of New Delhi, India. During this time, there was a heat wave, forcing residents to sleep on their rooftops to escape the oppressive heat at night. This led to the emergence of attacks by a mysterious humanoid creature known as Kayalabanda, which resembled half human, half monkey, standing about 120 centimeters tall, covered in dark fur with metallic claws, glowing red eyes, and wearing a thick metal helmet. The majority of the victims were economically and socially disadvantaged men who presented to doctors with strange injuries such as bites and scratches. Apart from physical injuries, the attacks also resulted in 2 deaths, one from falling off a roof and another from falling downstairs due to panic while trying to escape the creature. Reports indicated that the Monkey Man would leap from one building to another swiftly and cause numerous injuries, but medical reports suggested that these injuries were self-inflicted. Therefore, it was speculated that the entire incident may have been a mass psychogenic illness. What do you think, folks? Were these real diseases or just mass delusions? Feel free to comment and don't forget to subscribe. As for today, I have to say goodbye. Bye!